You're not allowed to do that. That's not fair. Someone on sound. Now what am I going to do? Welcome everybody to the stream. Someone on sound. Jim. Did I lose my stream for a minute? I guess 2 of the last tornadoes in the last 75 years hit here this week. Now he castled into it. This is a blitz game. We just got to go with our intuition. I was thinking, could I sack a pawn? Sack a pawn, though. My connection might be a little unstable. Wow. Knight A4. That doesn't look right. Like B1. B1 is so slow. Wow. Dubious. Jim, thanks for the donation. I don't like knight D7 for black here. King's Indian land. Fast Friday or a slow connection? I don't know. Good question. He's coming back. Oh, he just took it. I was mostly concerned about Bishop G5. That's sort of anticlimactic. This is why someone in sound is 1800. Misevaluated. He misevaluated the position after Queen H4. No, I mean, seriously, I'm sorry to laugh, but that's stupid. Bishop G5, right? Perfectly reasonable. But I don't think you should do this summon on sound. I thought, like, you know, the way to play was to play D5. Probably you want to try to break in the center. I don't know. That's a pity because, like, it was a good, interesting game. El Rosador. As long as you guys have close to 100 games, I'm willing to take the challenges. El Rosador. He doesn't have 100 games. They're going to play him because his ratings are close. He doesn't look like a computer. Something like that. He's got about 60 games. Or 50. Stopping. That's Fuchsia style. Dropping queens. Yeah, Bishop G5, i.e., you know, Hungarian defense. I thought it was a leaf blower, but I'm not sure what my neighbor is using to torture me now. The leaf blower, it's like going, then it's stopping, then it's going, then it's stopping, then it's going, and stopping. I don't think it would be a leaf blower then. It has to be some other electric tool that sounds like a leaf blower. What could it be? D takes C4. I'm going to go with the Geller Gambit. Bishop H6 last game. I'm gonna have to close the freaking window. It's just making me nuts. Could be some kind of woodworking tool or something like that, but it sounds more like a leaf blower. Thank God it's not like extremely hot. Bishop G4 is a good move. That's a secondary, the secondary move for black in this line. Acerbate's here. Where have you been? Good to have Fuchsia back too. We had a lot of questions for Fuchsia over the last 2 streams, but I don't think we've seen her. Questions about chess nomenclature, mostly, and weird openings. All right. Bishop E3. That sounds so much better without that constant noise. It probably would bother me less if it was constantly going, but the guy like turns it on and turns it off and turns it on and turns it off. And I think like, you know, it's just torture, like Chinese water torture. You're like, every time he turns it off, you're like, yes, maybe this is the time he's actually going to turn it off, you know? And then he just keeps going again. Oh my God. All right. Jim, thanks for the donations. Jim's up to 1,000 with his last donation. I don't know, something on the sound. I felt weird about you pulling your knight back to d7. I thought like the real way to go there was actually... This guy's pretty good already for 1,500, but that's nothing new. This is probably a blunder by me. Maybe not. Really, I should just castle, but I was nervous about bishop g6. So guys, I cleaned out my house with some guys. I hired, not the entire house, but a lot of junk. Took out mass amounts of junk from the house today, but it was costly. And I got most of it back by, can I take on c6? I got most of it back by selling a baseball bat on eBay, which I didn't think was really even, I wasn't even sure it was going to be a sale, but I actually had a second buyer. After the first guy bought it, the second buyer was like, if that guy, if it falls through, I'll buy it, you know, so it was probably like worth way more than I sold it for, but whatever. So Rossador played the opening well, but yeah, baseball bats are always useful. I told the story about how my dad would take one to work in the city. But he literally had it all figured out. I was serious. He said, like, you know, you can't take a knife or a gun, but a baseball bat, you know, it's technically not against the law to carry a baseball bat in your car. Oh, shit, my son left it there from his Little League game. Totally forgot. The best weapon versus zombies, and it doesn't require any kind of gasoline or charging. Yeah, this is looking good. So while Rossador plays the opening well, I actually could have won his queen there. Would have been a little stronger to play bishop b6 check, possibly. If you're going to carry the baseball bat in your car, you should also have a glove and a ball, too. At least a glove, right? At least a glove. I've got some old baseball gloves, but they're not, like, the bat was, you guys can check out the eBay, but the bat was like a clearly defined thing. I've got some old baseball gloves that are probably about 100 years old, but that's probably harder to sell if it's not clearly identifiable. All right, Bisonov, Natalie Shadwick, 2107, 19 games, 1939, 22. I might have to hold off on that. Just not enough games. I really ask people to have like closer to 100 games to play, especially if they're like high rated. Bisonov, one of our subscribers. Bisonov. Son of a bison. Yeah, I was not playing the most accurate move at the end there. Okay, so we got the Benko or Benoni or what? Do all my challengers want the black pieces? It does seem strange. Do the baseball bats with nails work better on zombies? My son believes in my son believes in Shark-Nados. He probably believes in zombie apocalypse too. After playing a lot of Plants vs. Zombies when he was like younger, we used to like drive by the cemetery. He'd be like, "Look, zombies!" Every time you'd see like a cemetery headstone, he'd think there was like a zombie there that would come out at night, which is kind of funny. All right, Merle Dixon though. if you guys do know, Merle is not in the chat, but Uber driver, your soulmate. Intellivision cartridge, 8 pieces untested. That's seriously vintage. I sold one lot of Intellivision cartridges, but for some reason, my first buyer is holding off till they try the first lot. I don't know how many of them are necessarily working or not. Knight f3, bishop g7. What do? We just play. This is main line. A main line. Actually, knight d2 might be a better move first rather than bishop e2. Let's go. Paschall versus Wojtkiewicz. Rapid game. Boston. Actually, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Circa 1999. 2000. Maybe 2000. The truck. Yeah, the truck backing up. It's kind of weird for this hour. Truck backing up. 5:52. Good evening, gentlemen. What's up, Lobby? All my stuff is like selling better than my mom's stuff. My mom had like a million things, but the only thing people are buying are like baseball bats and video cartridges and stuff like that. Here we are. The key position. Shark-Nado stream. Why is b5, b6 a move in the Benko? Isn't it better just to allow the tension on b5? Well, they always have some tactics like a b5, bishop b5, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, queen a5 check, knight c3, bishop takes c3, blah, 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 queen a5, queen b5, sorry. It's worth researching as Arsenal, but I mean, b6 is pretty well established as the primary decline Benko line. Maybe maybe f3 and e3 as well. Those three. Man, thunderstorm over Paris, 43 degrees centigrade yesterday. Everything normal. Blubby, we had a tornado where I live, you know, on Tuesday, and there's only been 4 of them in the last like 65 years where I live. So pretty strange weather all around. Rook d8. Very, very odd move. That's why we have Shark-Nado. Yeah, we have sharks and tornadoes. Bishop b7. All right. Black's not really doing anything. I mean, is he going to try to play e6 for reals? Yes, Arsenal. Exactly what my thoughts. You've been hit by 2 tornadoes, 2004 and 2016. WJ Loof, where's that? This one missed me by like a mile. You missed me by a mile. No. Rook b8. Now he's starting to misbehave there a little bit with a b file. I have to actually consider that. Yeah, guys, it's crazy in Europe. I mean, the 40-degree temperatures where I'm at, it's less than 30, and it's like normal, you know. 40 degrees centigrade, that's not okay under any circumstances. I'm being as central as I can here. I'm thinking, you know, the standard sort of rook b4 motif he might try for. I hope he doesn't have a nasty tactic like, oh no, that's all right. So here we have a question, knight e5 or bishop e5? It's a strong knight, but it's also a strong bishop. Tough call, guys. 3 minutes and counting. What are we going to do? Bishop e5 or knight e5? I'm hollow on the dark squares. After bishop takes e5, I have a monster knight on c4. If we take with a knight, we keep the good dark square bishop. He's going to get an e6 there almost immediately. Queen g5. No threat. This is a test of the emergency broadcasting system. Astrobate, I told you not to do that to your bishops. Leave the shark. You'd go for h3 and leave the shark on e5? Wow. Seriously? Just leave the shark on e5? I mean, he's going to trade off my pieces, man. You know, I mean, that's the thing. I think my space advantage... Blobby, you may be right. Maybe I'm just still better after h3. It's an interesting thought. An interesting thought. An interesting position. I would like to see what the engine thinks after the game about what the best move is there. That's maintaining the tension is an option too. But I generally don't like allowing exchanges when I have a space advantage of this kind. My knights are really good, and this damages his pawn structure though. Queen g5 is not really a threat because I guess he can defend multiple different ways. The problem is if I gave up my knight, right, then his c-pawn would be able to move forward. I keep the blockader. Wow, he sacked a piece. Say what? Interesting. Oh my god, it's like a Botvinnik. A Botvinnik game. Botvinnik. Rook d4. Compensation. That's an exchange. If you guys know this game that I'm talking about. Botvinnik sacrifices an exchange in a game in his selected games with rook d4. But this is a whole piece. A bit much. Wow. This is the idea. The rook d4. Definitely enough for the exchange here by Sanov. So now knight e2, bishop e4, queen c1, bishop h6. Okay, he has some compensation for the sacrifice piece. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 pawns and pressure. I just don't believe it's enough. Knight there is going to bring in f5. Is it possible he has enough compensation for an entire piece here? It's not impossible, it's enough, right? The roving center. f5 is going to come in. Yes. Knight e2, bishop e4, queen c1. What if I play like queen c1 first? It's kind of like a waiting move. What an awesome dynamic try. 2 pawns, 2 bishops, and the pawn bonanza. Knight e2 doesn't really do anything. That's the bigger problem. Pawn Sharks. Wait, isn't that the TV show? Wait, that's Pawnado. Pondonado. Pawn Stars, right? Not Pawn Sharks. Pondonado. My God, this is too much. He resigned. But that's kind of premature, isn't it? Oh, I guess I'm waiting too much stuff. Is this really... Sure you have to resign here? Computer thinks yes. Damn, dude. I mean, in this position... The computer says I'm clearly better, but I mean, in a practical game, I feel like this is very, very, very tough. Very tense. Easy for the computer to say, okay, I calculated 22 moves and I'm clearly better. Creative piece sacrifice, but a little bit over the top. Okay, so Natalie Shadwick, I don't know. This player has got a totally new account with like 40 games. It's a bit thin. I'd rather wait until someone has like, 60, 70, 80 games. It's just not an established account. I lost Arsenal fan. Arsenal fan, come on back. This Allison Hurd is legit. All right. Heroku. If I decline your challenge because you didn't have enough games, go run and play 50 games and get back to me. I do like people to have close to established games. And if not, I played a guy the first game who was like 1,500, but all of his ratings were the same. It looked very legit. Heroku, where are you? That was a cool position. And again, it reminds me of Budvinnik's exchange sack game with Rook D4. Similarities are obvious. Heroku's not here. There he is. Great. All right, Heroku is not the player who plays like D4, Knight F6, C4, E6, A3, is it? For Astrobate, C5 on move 1. The early Benoni. Uh-oh, E3 poison. This is a very important chapter in Axel Smith's repertoire for white, I suppose. Well, technically white's supposed to play D5 there. Heroku, have we been here? Have we been here before? I can equalize with D5, but it leads to a boring position. So, I mean, against a GM, I would play D5 there with impunity. But against another player like this who's 1,500, I mean, I really don't want to trade everything off. Axel Smith. He wrote a book called E3 Poison that's been quite successful. And his whole thing is this repertoire of this kind of rope-a-dope E3 based setups for white that aren't objectively that sharp, but kind of underrated. It's a Swedish grandmaster, a young Swedish grandmaster. D6. Apparently Axel is a normal name. There was an Italian GM, Axel Rambaldoni, which I thought was really weird because I wouldn't think that would be like a typical name in Italy. Maybe Sweden. Okay, A6. Axelrod. So Axelrod, is Axel a short form of Axelrod? Or is that just a different name? Uh-oh. Bob's speaking Spanish. We're all in trouble now. Queen b6 is sort of a weird idea. I probably played this game with... well, I played a very similar game last week with a 2100 here on the stream. My father used to believe in the potato in the tailpipe, but that never worked for me. The mischief knight. Does the potato in the tailpipe actually work with modern cars? Rook e1. Does banana work better? I guess a lot of tailpipes are too thin for potato. It depends on the size of your potato. What are we talking about? Exactly, Bob. Rook e1, like a harmless sort of waiting move. He's running out of things to do with that move, clearly. All right. But we're not making sexual references. I'm talking about literal mischievous pranks. Like when I was a kid, the night after Halloween, everybody was supposed to go, you know, put toilet paper all over the neighborhood. And the potato in the tailpipe never worked for me. All right. Anyway, let's try to behave ourselves. Rook f(c)8. What does this all have to do with chess? Looks like a Marazzi. It's half a Marazzi. Arsenal got half a Marazzi at c4. It's a half Marazzi, basically. Okay, guys, almost done my coffee. I'm feeling warmed up. We've got 4 challenges: Allison, Saber Dog, Blubix, and Paschall. No, Paschall is a one-day. No, I'm not going to do that. I only do correspondence games that are at least 5 days. So Paschall, if you're out there and you hear me, this is a blunder, I think, strategically speaking. Oh, he has an idea? No. A devastating blow to the white pawn structure. I'm not afraid to play a 100-move endgame. I've done it many times. This is money, this kind of ending. Shark-Nado is an opening. No, Shark-Nado is a joke to the problems facing my area of existence. Where I live, we have great white sharks and tornadoes, which is a very strange combination. And it came, you know, so the Shark-Nado naturally comes to mind. Tornadoes definitely don't typically affect coastal areas. So it's very rare you get the Shark-Nado, literal Shark-Nado possibilities. I live in southeastern Massachusetts, and we don't generally get tornadoes. But Tuesday, we had a tornado that was ripping the roofs off of hotels and stuff. They missed me by like a mile, but still, this is a very annoying move. Bishop f5. I hate you for playing bishop f5. I know hate is a strong word, but I feel it right now. That move, it just... Oh. It loses a pawn, though. Damn, I can just take this. Give me that. Fortunate I had that. It is called a water spout when it's over the ocean. I mean, I'm not familiar with the meteorology of the thing, but I do know, you know, throughout my life, I've rarely heard about tornadoes in coastal areas. Florida gets a lot of tornadoes, but they typically don't touch down. We had a category 1 or whatever, level 1. Enough to uproot trees and rip off a few building roofs. So another annoying move. Okay, I can play f5 at some point here. Yeah, that's kind of a tricky move, this the c5. More than kind of tricky, it's flat out disruptive. Take e6 is interesting. Very unconvincing. Almost has an exchange sack here. 1,500 worth every point. He's absolutely worth every single rating point. Man, that's 11-0 against this guy, and this is not the first time he's played me really tough. You're flattened. You got flattened by Hurricane Charlie. Wow. You survived hiding in your bathtub. Oh my god. I mean, if you live in a place like the Midwest or something, and you kind of like, you know, you tune into it and you learn to kind of expect it, but what was weird about mine, you know, weird about this was like, it was just like kind of disturbing because you're not supposed to get tornadoes where I live. But we were lucky. No damage, but just a lot of tree limbs. Nearby there were complete trees ripped up. Bishop f3, here we go. I analyzed all this in advance. I figure I'm going up pawn for the endgame. Now we do have b6, but then rook c6. So that's out as well. Furuku is a hell of a 1,500, man. He's actually 1680 rapid, 1780 classical. So go up 100 points per time control. I'm lucky that like my mother got tricked by swindlers into spending like tens of thousands of dollars on having trees cut down around the house. That's not a problem now, since there are no trees anymore. Rook d8. Whoa, rook takes b7. Look, this is a resource for everything. Okay, take. Rook takes e4, bishop there. Rook a4. Not enough pawns left to make this an easy win. Tree removal is crazy. It's like between $700 and $900, you know, $500 and $900 a tree. Maybe 1,000. And, yeah. Crazy stuff. Check him out, the 1,500. But I mean, we have homeowners insurance. You know what I mean? Like, if there was a tree to fall in the house, technically. All right, I'm on that pawn there. That's an issue for him, no? Forcing moves. Charlie Hurtan. Found the only defense. Very good. Dude. Blunder made it too. Rook check and bishop g2. Rook check and bishop e2. Rook check and bishop e2. Or even, man. I don't know that this is a win, dude. This is like saying a Bobby Fischer maybe win it. So f3, knight d2, rook b8 check, king g7, then bishop g2. Apparently bishop g2 is not as strong as bishop e2. I don't know. Man, this is a tough endgame to win. I should be able to beat a lesser player in this endgame, but a strong master will probably hold the draw. Uh-oh. Yeah, an Esterman spy. Got to be very careful of those. Allison Hurd. 1993 legit ratings. All right. I could coach Esterman or even a stronger GM. I could become a coach, legitimate like coach for strong players. It's not my specialty, but I'm sure it's something that I could get into. I think you have to kind of start to specialize yourself in that. I could be a mind coach, you know, and do like lectures for tens of thousands of dollars. Go on road trips and do like the Maurice Ashley. Motivational speaker, that's it. D takes c5. This is a pretty boring variation for white. I also play e3 myself. Cultured camel. Queen a4. Wow, that wasn't unexpected. How do I get my pawn back now? The unexpected. Queen a4. Knight a6 looks very natural. And then attack it a second time. So knight a6, queen c4. Now I need a good move. Queen a5. And then she plays, if this is a girl, though. Chances of it actually being a girl are fairly high. Chances of it not being a girl, woman, fairly high. You never know what people are on the internet. Not that it's relevant, but I just need to talk about something while I stall about making a decision about what to do here. Bishop e6, queen a4, bishop e6, bishop c4. I don't like this. How about here? How about here? We attack with 2 pawns. Yeah. How about this? Then knight e4 is possible. Man, this queen a4 looks like a perfect move. I feel like I avoided playing this account once before. I don't remember why, though. Knight a6 is natural, but then the c6 becomes a possibility. Just developed naturally. I'm down a pawn, though. Knight a6, queen c4, queen c7. An artificial attempt to win the pawn back. I'm not crazy about this. White also has c6 here. Maybe then knight to d5. Okay. So it's used 13 seconds for the whole game so far. Is the stream down? If it is, just try to refresh. It looks okay to me. Yeah, I have knight b4 here and knight c2 check. That's interesting. Queen a8, knight c2 check, take. White losing the right to castle should be significant. If they trade rooks, rook for rook, should be enough compensation for me. Very rational situation, though. I don't know. This wasn't my original plan. I was just going to develop, I guess, rook b8, but looking like I'm just down a pawn here. Who do you guys think this account is? Because I have a theory that it's somebody's multiple account. It challenged me once before. I declined to play it that day because there was a reason that I don't remember. Who is this? Someone's alt account. And we have to look up who is Allison Hurd. It's probably like a real person that's not a chess player. Bob, you know everything. Is that some sort of person or celebrity? Bishop c4, knight back. I'm just down a pawn now. To the internet we go. We'll find out who this multi-accounter is. Top real estate agent in Oro Valley. Helping people buy and sell their homes in the local area. There you go. Well, that we know. Maybe it's a real person. Just wanted to double check that it wasn't, you know, a porn star or Brittany Zamora's sister. Whatever the other troll would create something. Tribute account to some celebrity. So it's possibly a real person. All right. Nice, solid moves. Materialistic. Very materialistic style. Grabbing my... It doesn't care about, like... The moves just keep coming. My c4 pawn is going to go next. Take care, Fuchsia. Thanks for joining us. Maybe I should just resign here. We'll see. Computery play. Grabbing pawns. Fearlessly. But it might be a human. I really don't know. I just don't remember why, like, a week ago I got challenged by this account and I declined it. Has enough games. I suspected, I guess it was some sort of... USCF says Allison Hurd is 1485. It's probably a fairly common name, like William Paschall. This is an extremely strong prophylactic move, preventing bishop g4. Nice. Subtle. It's pretty computery, I would say, but possibly not. I've accused, like, innocent people before. Speed and style of play, though. I wouldn't trust this account. Too early to make a determination. I mean, people are just too professional. You can't accuse people based on one game unless they're blatantly cheating, you know. You really have to compile like a dossier of all their games and then submit like a scientific study, a thesis proving that they're a computer or not. You know, it's not an easy thing. I try to go on my instincts. But so far, White, I would say, has played very, very well. This again preventing. Prevent offense. Prevent defense, is that it? I'm just on the verge of blundering at any moment. My whole game. It's probably like a real, like 1400. They just haven't made any mistakes yet. I'm paranoid that everyone's a computer, especially if they don't make a blunder in the first 20 moves. Bishop f3, bishop f3, queen d2. I guess we'll try it. But I'm not winning a piece here. Check out this move, gf. That's a pretty subtle move. Played quickly. That's a pity to play h4. Very strong time player. Just your average 1900. It's not, you know who. It's not on whatever. That's what I'm saying. It reminds me of on whatever, based on the speed. I think that's what it was. I must have suspected it of being on whatever. Alright. Very weird game. Guys, let's go on. Save a dog. Alright, Save a Dog, what's up? Save a Dog's a legit suspicious player. He's legitly like way better than 1500. I was under the impression that Natalie was suspicious all along, but they were pleasant about it. They never tried to rub my face in it, and then toward the end, it got a little bit out of control. You know, if someone cheats now and then against me, I kind of, okay, whatever. You know, don't do it every single game. Don't try to be too overt about it. I'll let them slide for a while. Why am I playing the Benoni? I don't understand. I don't even play the Benoni, man. But when someone starts cheating almost every game, then it becomes. But Natalie didn't bother me that much. It was that other account, the Chinese one. Lord Jesus Christ started to just like do it blatantly after like a long period of sort of sparse, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? A long period of not, you know, not doing it every single game. They started to be too blatant about it. If you're blatant about it, I played the Benoni. Nothing's proven someone unsound. I mean, obviously it was a very suspicious account, you know. But I was nice. They were nice in the chat. They never tried to be aggressive or problematic. I let it slide for a long time. I don't remember what we did with Natalie. If I just stopped playing them, I stopped accepting their challenges, I guess. Lord Jesus Christ was sort of similar, but then at the end, like, was way too blatant about it in one game and then tried to deny it. But I, you know, just like played 7 or 8 stockfish moves in a row in one game, and I was like, all right, that's enough. I don't need to see this anymore. Just because someone cheats sometimes doesn't mean they always cheat, but I can tell, you know, when it's like really blatant. D takes e6, man. What is this? Am I supposed to take the bishop there? F. The F word. I'm supposed to take bishop takes? I'm confusing this with the 4 pawns attack. Nobody takes here, save a dog. They do it in the pawns attack, the 4 pawns attack. Bishop g5. The heck is this? What the heck? Well, I think there's a correlation between pretending to be a woman on the internet and cheating in online chess. I'm not sure that I understand it, but let's say you're the probability that, you know, you're likely to be, you know, how do I do this? The probability that you're pretending to be a woman when you're really a man and cheating on, you know, goes up exponentially when you cheat at online chess? Or is it that the probability that you pretend to be a woman when you're actually a man goes up exponentially when you are an online chess cheater? I'm not really sure, but there seems to be a correlation between the two. We'll have to do further research into this. I think just lying is just lying in general is kind of connected, you know, about whatever it is. Your sexuality, your identity, your chess game. Lying about one thing leads to lying about other things. You know, if you lie about one thing, you're more likely to lie about other things. I mean, this goes for either sex. It's not about women. I mean, I'm sure that compulsive liars who are men are more likely to lie about multiple things. Most of these guys are men anyway. Bishop h4, g5. You're gonna sack a piece here. Queen e8. Queen e8, knight b5 is problem. Wow, I could just play e5. God, that's a horrible move. What a horrible move e5 is. Gosh. g5. I haven't seen Nefedov lately. We met in real life. Nefedov was complaining about these generation, the latest generation, and their fluid gender. You sound like an old grandfather. Man, this is just a bizarre position. I guess I like white here. I just don't want to allow e5, but I think I kind of like white. I think I have enough activity to maintain the game, though, the equality. He could have sacked a piece on g5, look vague. Honestly, I think he could have played e5 right away. And in fact, that's why I should take with the bishop. Bishop takes is all business. Much less pawn moves, the less weaknesses you have. If you take with the pawn, he has e5 immediately. I kind of like that move for white there. I don't know why he didn't do that. You have a friend who complains about transgenderism. I mean, you know, it's hard to adjust to new things, right? For a lot of people, including myself. That's not one of the things that bothers me personally. But I'm not very good at adapting to new things, so it's hard for me to criticize others. I mean, I would draw the analogy of like smoking not being accepted in society. Like when I grew up, it was accepted. Like you could smoke anywhere. You know, now like you're not allowed to smoke anywhere. You know, people expect that you just automatically. That's just fine. You know, instantly you're supposed to just accept that. Like my mom was 85 years old, and she couldn't understand why she wasn't allowed to smoke. You know, you used to be allowed to smoke. Why you're not allowed to smoke today? Anyway, it's hard to expect people to just accept stuff overnight. You know, that's the point of this lecture. E4. E4. Man, no time. We're playing Petrosian here. This is a strong bad bishop. This is a not strong bad bishop. Where's the bad bishop? Where's the good bishop? I don't even know. Speaking of, this is perfect position, guys. We've got this transsexual bishops. It's a perfect position for this topic. Gender Identity and Bishops. A paper by International Master William Paschall. That would be just ridiculous, dude. Queen f6, I missed it. This will definitely go over well with the Catholic Church. Gender Identity and Bishops. A serious academic paper by yours truly. I mean, I better not take this guy too lightly. I mean, seriously, this is a messed up position where it's very hard to identify which is the good bishop, which is the bad bishop, which is bisexual bishop, which is hetero. I don't know if this is a good bishop or a bad bishop. This is a good bishop or a bad bishop. This is a good bishop or a bad bishop. This looks like the worst one on g7. Very much obstructed by pawns. That's the closet bishop. He's definitely in the closet. But all jokes here made with the best intentions. The conversation has gone downhill. Yeah, we've got to be careful. Okay, c8. We'll just stop there, Bill. I think we reached pinnacle of. Look at g4. Does that work? No. Shit. g4 is so tempting to try to pull this off, man. I feel like doing it anyway. I know I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. A dyed-in-the-wool materialist. I think the pawns are female. I call them Eleanor, Dolores, Gloria. He didn't take the pawn. I don't like when other chess streamers always call them guy names. Simon Williams does that. That's just not right. Juice box. He just walked into. Pawn walks in a var. All right. Wow, my time is screwed. I secured the 2 connected passers. It took a lot of work. Just another run-of-the-mill 1500. We got 3 challenges. Blobix, Arsenal fan, Morales. The conversation is not always this colorful. I kind of bluffed Save a Dog with the G4. I think I forgot I was playing Save a Dog. I thought I was playing Bill, someone different at one point. It's weird. In the middle of the game, I like start forgetting who my opponent is. Not that it matters that much, but I mean against certain players, I have stylistic cues I try to adhere to. Queen E4. Oh no. The bad bishop that lived. Coming to get you. Oh no, I dropped the pawn. The pawn collector. I'll take everything, please. I'll have an everything burger. All right. That was fun. It's the Lasker principle about bad pieces. They're angry. The closet bishop was angry. It came out, and when it got into the scene, it just made itself felt. And I mean, it's ironic that that piece was the destroyer of White's position, the one that was the most blocked in. All right, let's go. Blobix, Arsenal fan, Morales, and Rossador has re-challenged me, but I'm not going to take the same challenger again, Rossador. Blobix. The priority of the pass pawn's there. Save a Dog flinched when he could have taken on G4 and won a pawn. But my idea was to intentionally sacrifice that pawn to create the possibility of the 2 connectors, you know, and I think that it was probably sound. Blobix is tough, and he has a good opening repertoire. That's pretty well worked out. I mean, last time I played something disrespectful against him and got punished. Uber driver says Aliekin. But that's not what I played. I played a Carol Khan last time. Great. I'm doing it again. Bill donated 100 bits. Thanks to Jim, Dragon BC, Bill leading the way this week. Also, Warnaki, pass pawn, and Ben Pump with 1. All right. Let's throw something random out there. I'm going to get punished again. I want to play EF, but I don't know that line too well. Knight F3. C3 is like the theoretical line that's most commonly played. Here I don't know if bishop F5 or bishop G4 is better. I've lost games in the old days. Lobic's playing fast. 34 from Bob for the homosexual stream. It's fine with me. Anyway, Bob, I'm fully supportive of all sexualities here, Bob. I've been hit on by some of the strongest homosexual players in the world. Karaklaj. No. He wasn't that strong, actually. Rookie 1. As far as I know, Robert Hubner is the strongest gay player. Probably others. I thought I played Queen C7. Maybe that's not a good idea. Blobix is going to come to C4. I might regret playing Queen C7. I wonder if I should seriously castle kingside. Bishop E3 is pretty normal, but I'm not sure it makes sense to play Bishop E2, Bishop E3, and Rook E1. And do I want to castle kingside here? And he's going to blow me up with C4, D5. Queen B8 might be a move, rather than Queen C7, in fact. I used to relish playing this when I was, say, 1800. Now it's like, oh man, this is so incorrect. This is so bogus for black, but I'm thinking that maybe Bishop G4 is actually a more respected variation than Bishop F5. This sort of restricts white's options a bit more. Is Eric Hansen a vastly superior player to me? Look, dude, at that level, I mean, you know, the differences between like 2400 player and a 2600 player, it's very fine. I mean, this is a difficult question to answer. Vastly superior. In a practical sense, he probably is, you know. In knowledge sense, maybe not that much. Maybe he's just a much better competitor than me. It's difficult to define how to answer that, you know. I don't think there's that much difference between players at that level. The differences are like so tiny. It's difficult. I don't think vastly would be a good word. My peak rating is like 2470. His peak rating is 26 something. You know, it's probably 150 points difference between our peak ratings. Superior, yes. You know, vastly superior, it's difficult to answer. Okay, anyway. We got to do something. In the street fight. I specialize in beating on chess players. They're usually underage punks, kick my feet under the table. Chess fight. Arsenal fan specializes in chess fights. Drunken chess brawls at chess club. I retired. I sold my... Has anybody ever heard of Chuck Klein, the baseball player? This player is so old that I never actually remembered or heard of his name. But I sold a bat today on eBay for $700. And they were like snapping it up like instantly. I mean, this guy died in 1958. He was a pro baseball player. So he must have played in like the early part of the 1900s. And this is his signature bat, you know, not like a real signature, but it was made to honor his name. I instantly sold it in like an hour after putting it on eBay. I probably undervalued it. Yeah. I'm not sure, Bob. But It's not in great condition, you know, that's the thing. An hour's way too fast. In fact, I had a second buyer who I said earlier in the stream was like, if something falls through, I'll buy it. You know, so that's like, yeah, that's a pretty big giveaway that you basically undervalued your sale. But I'm getting desperate. Time is getting short. I never sold a Louisville Slugger on eBay, so I didn't really know how much to ask. $700 is $700. We'll send it UPS tomorrow. The guy was a biter. Are you talking about Mike Tyson? You can feel it out by asking for 10K and then taking the best offer. All right, here comes the problem, right? He's all over me with C5 again. I think I had this once before with Blobix. Similar position. Very, very sharp position here. Yeah, I mean, it's probably worth more. It still pays for my house clean out today. Yeah, I mean, Bishop B4 with the idea, check him out with the B4, dude. Wow. What a move. The B4. Blobix showing his class. Insane in the membrane. House of Pain. B4. Oh, that's a great move, dude. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see. Not a normal move. That's why he's a FIDE master. FM Blobix. More of a queen pawn sort of trick. Sharpening the play a bit, shall we say. Okay, I have no clue. I'm just going nuts now. 43 seconds left. I'm probably a dead man. Yeah, look. Look at this. He's like trapping my queen midboard. That I did not anticipate. Damn it. It's ridiculous. He has every trick in the book now. It's like a genius. You've got to be kidding me. So, even like, this is not enough. This doesn't work. I mistakenly thought that this was enough. My bad. He traps my queen in midboard. Oh, just that? Okay. Check this out from B4. First of all, I had no time left. Look at this. B4. Equal. Best move according to Stockfish. Then it changes his mind. Black's better. Oh my god. So B4, the best dynamic try. Shit. Okay, difficult to say what the best move is. I still think the B4 is brilliancy. But I mean, I just couldn't conceptualize a bishop E4. I could not conceptualize this. It's like, how the F does this work? because of this. I couldn't find it. Maybe in a tournament game, you know? This is just crazy. There's no way I'm finding that. There's no way I'm finding that, you know, in a Blitz game. There's just no freaking way. And if I take here, he has c5. Same difference. I mean, maybe this is more realistic, but he's going to win a piece here. Oh, no, I have bishop back to e7. Yeah, but that's passive. That looks horrible. I mean, it's like b4 is a brilliancy and only doesn't work if I find bishop e4. Literally, like, that's the only line that kind of refutes this, but there's no way that I can find it. Brutal. Bishop e4 worked the move before. So yeah, let's see, like c4, c5. Wait. Oh, like the move before. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely on my radar, but I didn't see. Damn it. If I was playing the system more often, that's the kind of move that I wouldn't miss, you know, like taking here. But I don't play the system. That's the problem with playing different stuff and messing around with different openings. You don't have the familiarity. The other thing I thought about doing was actually playing queen b8, you know, but it boxes out my rook. It's a Slav idea. All right, Blobix, too good, man. Too fast and too good. Arsenal fan. I've got to play like really conservative against Blobix, or else he'll just crush me. I'm gonna have to start playing like e4 c5 or like e4 e5 every single game against Blobix. I can't go outside of the most solid possible defenses, or he'll just destroy me. Arsenal fan, good luck. You get black. I think the Caro Khan with knight on bd7. You think the Caro is okay with knight on bd7? I got my face smashed in, like as John Fedorovich would say, probably like 5 or 6 times playing that. Kudrin beat me. I swindled Danny Gormali like 2 pawns down in a knight in game, and a knight bd7 Caro Khan. One of my best results ever with a knight on. It's really bad when your best result is like swindling a draw 2 pawns down in a knight in game, in an opening. It just. And then Kasparov, you know, losing against Deep Blue, really put the nail in the coffin. Arsenal, nice. We get one of my favorite variations, my favorite all-time variation of the English, the Mykonos, Floor Mykonos variation. Does anyone think the Caro is not sound? It's an extremely popular opening nowadays. One of the most popular. Seems like everybody plays it. Arsenal fan. Playing the Karpov. Kasparov Karpov. World Cup. I don't remember which tournament. 1988. 86? 88? Dude played f6. Theoretical novelty. You're supposed to take the pawn, man. It's a non-gambit. It's a creative idea. I mean, okay. The Arsenal variation. Arsenal versus Real Madrid. f6. God, that's a totally new move. He's like, I don't want your sticking free pawn. f6 instead. Okay. Maybe I should still just pretend I'm playing a gambit. You know, just play like knight b5 anyway. It's messed up. That's actually a move in the normal gambit lines. Weird. I don't know what to do. Debatable decision. This helps him. The most principled reply to the Caro is the advanced variation. According to you, who plays like a freaking maniac, that's principled. You guys should see Antonio play the white side of the principled variation. Oh, shit. I don't know, man. It's debatable. It's debatable. I mean, it's a contest between e5 and maintaining the tension, to be fair, Antonio. I don't think that you can say that clearly without an argument. A lot of people are going to argue with you and claim that knight c3 or knight d2, maintaining the tension in the caro, is the more principled variation. I think it's a debate, you know. I was really afraid of bishop e4, Arsenal's favorite move in the Mora Gambit, as he's told us. Here he just has a sort of hanging pawn scenario, which isn't great for black. It's going to turn into a Tarrasch, like, whatever, Queen's Gambit French. Pick your opening. Tarrasch liked isolated pawn positions. Never been a Tarrasch fan. Oh no, that's ugly. It's a 6 Sveshnikov, man. That Sveshnikov is ill. Knight b5, d6. And it's difficult for me to put more pressure on the black position. So I can play knight f5 and hack his bishop off to gain time. Take the bad bishop. Nothing to think about here. No brainer. Gotta play d5. Maybe, well, my statement is biased to my experience with the French. You don't like the cramped. I'm just kidding, Arsenal. You had to play d6, man. Arsenal believed me. Man, would it be ironic if if it were true that like d5 was the best move? That's just ridiculous. I was just kidding. Pin it and win it. We're hoping it's just a clear pin it and win it scenario. Queen b3 is not the only move here. Bishop g5 is also interesting. And that gives him an escape. That's the only move, Holmes. Well done. Well done. Literally the only move. Okay, bishop d5, bishop d5, bishop d5, knight d5. Bishop d5. Knight d5, rook d1. Bishop d5, knight d5. I've got a minuscule endgame advantage there. I could take on b5, obviously. My intention was to take on b5 with a knight and then meet rook b8 with queen a3. I better do something fast. Great reaction by Arsenal fan. Wasn't bishop g5 winning on the spot? I didn't think so, because he could just go knight f4. You mean queen b3? Bishop g5, knight f4. That's the problem. Unless I have bishop e6, knight e6, queen b3. I didn't analyze that far. I mean, possible. I thought he could just move his knight away. Blobix. He played king h8 though. Which really doesn't quite look right. I was mostly afraid of rook b8, but maybe it didn't do anything. I have like bishop takes b7, a7. I mean, life is easy if I'm a computer here. Complicated shit is high-level language. Classy communication. Arsenal's up to 183 games now, closing in on the 200 club. Very exclusive. How many of you here have played 200 games against me? Antonio? You have not reached the 200 club, right? Yul Skinner has. Nefyadov has. I feel like there's someone else that we're like forgetting. Arsenal just gives me too much here. It's a queen for a rook. WJ. It's not a queen for a rook, it's a queen for knight and bishop. But I think he had really interesting counterplay after b5. Probably. Computer will say like white's winning, but that's sure. If you're a computer, it's easy. If knight d5, queen a7 there, or rook a7, by the way. This is over. But he has such good counterplay. A lot of you guys need to be able to get down to your increments and play comfortably without panic. You know, believe it or not, I've been streaming for like 3 years. And prior to streaming, I like never played increment. I mean, obviously in over the board games, it started like 10 years ago or even earlier, 15. But I never favored playing increment Blitz. And I started doing it because of streaming. But now I kind of like it. It's grown on me. I think that it's, you know, it avoids the rook versus rook. The kind of classic in-game I love. Rook versus rook. Played for 200 moves. Alright, that was it. Guys, we have 50 minutes left. Morales is up. Let's see how many games we do have with him. So, 157, 8. 158 only. Karo Khan, a little too many Karo Khans lately. He's probably starting to like prepare at this point. I didn't understand. Did you absolutely need King H8, Arsenal fan? What about just like Rook B8 or something like that? Now Arsenal. Sorry, Morales challenging me with D4. This is kind of a weird independent variation. But it has a decent score for black. Similar to the hyper-accelerated dragon, but not quite the same because the knight's not on c3. It's not on f3, it's on c3. But here you have Morales, who's a closed Sicilian player, effectively playing a type of open Sicilian. Did I have this game already with someone? Knight g4? I feel like we had this already, and I've forgotten. Knight g4, bishop f4. Had I already played this with someone? I have this very strong smell of preparation in the air here. You can smell it a mile away. With you, yeah. My memory's good. So knight g4, bishop f4, and it felt like white was good there. I felt like I had been sort of tricked into something. Arson, I try everything. When I play an opponent multiple games, if I play a match with someone, basically I'll probe all their openings. Like an alien mind probe. I'm going to probe all your openings for like the weakest points in your repertoire. That's the advantage of having a flexible kind of opening repertoire, as I do. Jedi mind probe. I'm just using systematic. I'm doing a systematic probe of your opening repertoire to find the weakest points, so I can go after those. If I feel like you play the Benoni well, you know, pretty well, I'm gonna like play things like the symmetrical English and see if you play significantly worse there, you know. Yeah, I want to try to identify the weakest points. Because I've been impressed the last couple of games you played. Seemed like kind of natural, kind of a good natural feel for the Benoni. This is not a position we're going to find in the opening books, kids. Larson-esque. Bishop e6. I wonder if white should play knight e2 and try to play knight f4. He's headed for knight to g5, it looks like. What should I do? Now knight g4 actually might be a good move. I think it's a good time for this. Could be wrong. I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again, but while we have the good control of e5, let's do it. Jedi mind tricks. That was a good poker player on Poker Stars. I think a Polish guy. I like that. In my poker days, which aren't that far past. Knight g5, queen d7, knight b5 with the threat of knight takes e6. Can be met by rook c8. Jedi mind tricks is it's a good chess handle. Bishop g7. You can't patent the Poker Stars name, I guess. So we got the good control of e5. I'm liking this. Dragon. Where does Dragon be? Knight c4. I don't see any reason not to play knight c4. Bishop f6, you got a little check, a little checky check. Checky check. Bishop takes c3 check. Positional chess. Oh my god. I love this. Gingy. No, this is totally what Roman would do. He would like go here and play like queen a5. Is it really good though? Oh, that's fun. Only live once. What would Roman do? Try to turn it into a Gingy Indian at all cost. It's a beautiful thing. This is a good Gingy Indian for black, probably. Yeah, Queen G3 is clearly the best. Morales is being stubborn and annoying. Take with the pawn. That's so sick if I take with the pawn here. I don't think I can bring myself to do that. Nice tornadoes, move 11. Oh no, he had bishop g7, I missed it. Oh, that's sad. I should have taken with the pawn. I got the triple pawns anyway. That's about the best triple pawns you can have. He missed rook b1. Rook b1, rook b5. Those are some seriously good triple pawns. I mean, I'm not in the mood for a king and pawn in game. But it's been a while since I had some good triple pawns. I'm gonna get me some triple pawns. This is Elizabeth Warren playing chess. Dynamic triple pawn. It's the best triple pawn game we've had maybe ever on the stream. If you're gonna have triple pawns, they better control the center. That's all I know. This is it's the only good case of triple pawns maybe in chess. Double pawns are standard. Now what do I do? I can give up the H pawn, check, king up there. Rook takes H7, rook takes so E4. Looks kind of dangerous. Well, it's dangerous either way, but might have to keep the triple pawns. Sad. Sad that I had to keep those triple pawns. Sad but true stories of triple pawns. How's my rook mobility? The untouchables. 2-minute time advantage at this point now. I dare you to try to penetrate with your king in the center. Come on, Morales, bring it on. Here, come on in here. Come on in. Spiky triple pawns. Just control everything. How about a king and pawn in game? Man, those triple pawns are awesome. Black's slightly better, but I think it's a draw. I'm willing to take a draw here, even though I'm slightly better. I know it's a draw. The king and pawn in game is weird, and I wouldn't really think that Black's winning chances would be too good. It'd be a matter of like trying to draw. I think it's just a draw. Computer thinks I'm better. Wow. It wants to play rook e6. Get out of here. That's just bullshit. King c1, rook a6. It's a draw, man. This is just a draw, clear. Rook takes d6 check. Yeah, I mean, I have to take with the king. It's just too dangerous to let you get the h pawn and then the g pawn and then, yeah, it's a draw. Good game. Como Kid and Bob Sack for the Shark-Nado stream. Fast Shark-Nado Blitz. Blobby said he'd go for the pawn in game for Black. I tripped him up. That was great. Nah, very, very rare triple pawns. I missed bishop g7. I thought I was just better. It would have been interesting, though, had I maintained the knight on c4 and played de without playing knight takes e5 and then played knight versus bishop. Still, it's like equal. I was never really better. I had practical chances, but I think Morales played really well. Like, if he had traded queens on a5, he would have just been clearly worse, in my opinion. This is my third game with this player. He's played really, 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 really well for 1800 lichess thus far. The Komodo Dragon. It's not a subscriber, but it's Friday, Bob. We're not taking subscribers. It's Friday, man. Free Friday. Free Shark-Nado Friday. E6 is very rarely played against me. For some reason, no one plays that. I don't really know why, actually. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it. We'll transpose to some kind of... Now it's a Merle Dixon. He's going into a kind of passive Queen's Gambit declined. In the books it says Rook D1, but I don't ever really like that placement. Rook D1 has a good score. Castle's Queenside I've played that quite a bit, and I think it's okay, but I'm gonna pass. I'm actually stronger now than he was when I started watching 2017. Interesting theory. Difficult to prove such a theory. But I may have more knowledge. Stronger as a teacher, maybe. Alright. I used to lose to random people. I lost to you, Bob? Better have Bob's memory checked. I might have lost to you once or twice. Oh yeah, this is like definitely the best way for Black to play. Most people don't know that though. B6. Like anything else, Bob, I think, you know, doing something more is gonna make you better at it. It's funny how Como Kid knows exactly the best possible way for black to play. Exactly. In this pretty rare position. I had a game in US Amateur Team Championship like this. I regretted playing queen c2 to queen e2, basically wasting a tempo. In that game, though, I put my rook on d1, which made it even worse. It was like totally useless. This guy's like 1800, but he plays like he's 21 thus far, based on 3 games. A risky move. Knight takes looks much safer for black. If he takes on d4, am I taking back with the pawn? Then why did my rook go to d1? Knight b8. g6. Bishop h3, g5. Still doesn't win a piece. Bishop f5 is a pretty standard idea. I mean, when they take with the pawn here, you know, you occasionally see the queen on f5 in this type of structure. It's actually a good queen outpost. Obviously knights too. You're depressed. Sometimes we have contests for the most depressed person in the stream. That did not happen here today yet. So knight e5, knight e5, bishop takes c8. Did you notice that Fuchsia likes the Addams family and is constantly depressed? I think the Addams family is funny, but definitely some sort of goth thing going on there. Maybe Nefedov's not always depressed. I think he's gone through maybe a tough period or something. Bob. Nefedov is one of our most honored subscribers. Knight c3. So have we won material? No. Rook takes c3, c takes d. Rook takes c8, bishop takes c8. And suddenly black is okay. B takes c, bishop c6. Hangs on for black here. Knight c6, rook c6. Damn it. What am I missing? Rook c3. I mean, he could play bishop c6 there as well, but I have much more flexibility there. Rook c3, c takes d. Rook c8, bishop takes c8. That's ridiculous. Looks good for white, but there is something or there isn't, you know, and it just doesn't look like there is. I mean, okay, Blubix, you can sack and exchange speculatively if you want to, but I don't think you're going to have quite enough. Queen A6. Rook C7. No. Queen A6, Knight E5. No. Can I do this? Knight B8. Oh my god. I grabbed 2 rooks for the queen. Alright, screw it. Let's do it. That rhymes. Screw it. Let's do it. It sounds like something Bob would say. Surprising queen A6. Now, Blobix exchange sacrifices look unplayable. One thing I've learned from the computer is that you've always got to look for sort of like better moves. Just when you think there's not a better move, there usually is something a little bit better. So I'm taking the 2 pieces, right? Two rocks for the queen. That's the whole point. And we've got a strong knight. I mean, obviously complex position. Very complex position, but 2 rooks are better than a queen. There's no doubt. He is fast and solid, and I think he's better than 1800 lichess. It's not over. Playing for mate. Okay, guys, we got time for a couple more challenges. That's interesting. So check. That's game. Too many pieces. Did I hang a rook? Just making luft. There's no escape. There is an escape. There is an escape. Okay, guys. I'm starting to feel it now. I'm losing the thread. Bob, The Bobster. Guys, thanks for supporting the stream. Even with the tornado, and we missed the stream this week, we're still Jim 1,000 bits, Dragon B with 500, Bill with 471. Guys, you can support the stream with a donation. You can buy on my eBay channel. My eBay channel. Do you say eBay channel? eBay. eBay page. Donate via PayPal. Send me a $1,000 baseball bat in the mail, please. C4. Let's go, Bob. Come on. You don't know how to play the Queen's Gambit with black? I'm not getting better, you're getting worse. Maybe that's what happened. I don't want to hear any depression, guys. Alright. Symmetrical Queen's Gambit. We're not subscribed to Tier 1. It's 2 months. We had this yesterday. Blobix with a huge donation. They're crushing me. He didn't crush me. It was an interesting game, actually. Blobix puts the time pressure on, though. Carol Khan, G takes F. Blobix, huge donation, 600 bits, second place for the week. Now Bob blundered with knight c6. You have to play c takes d here. It's not an option. There's no other move. I mean, I guess maybe you could play e6, knight c3, queen d8. But you can't play this. This is just bad for black. You cannot improvise completely in the opening at this stage, Bob, at this level. You're like Arsenal fan, but worse. In the terms of opening improvisation. Actually, Arsenal's starting to develop a serious repertoire. He's got the Benoni going. But I thought for a long time his openings were his weakness. Now he's addressing that. But Bob, you're really playing without a repertoire. Yeah, the depression battle is on, guys. Who is the most negative person on the stream? Alright, WJ Loof. We have not played before. 1,200 games. Wow, totally established account. If you choose c5, you cannot improvise at all levels. Yeah. I mean, when you play a provocative move on move 2, you basically put yourself in a situation where you almost have to play perfectly. That's why I recommend people to play things like the Queen's Gambit Declined. Or the Nimzo, you know, anything very fundamental. The more hyper-modern and risky the first couple of moves, the more accurate you have to be. Less room you have to make mistakes. Like here I'll play against WJ Loof. I'm taking the liberty of playing Alyekin's defense. I wouldn't do this against most grandmasters. Even against Blobix, it's probably dangerous. Even against an FM or solid national master, I mean, it's very risky to play knight f6. Bob, you don't like boring, do you? You're easily bored. The safe move here is d4, but that I think is boring. It leads to simplification, trade of pieces. This is a much more adventurous move for black, but also, like, risky. Yet the Alyekin is routinely played by GMs. Well, routinely played by a few GMs. And I don't know if I call it routine. I hate this type of structure. White kind of gets play along this file here. Not a bad setup for white, really. I mean, there's some question about the Alyekin's pawn on e5 being slightly overextended. It's basically a French-ish position where my bishop isn't blocked in yet. So I have the option to play bishop g4. But I'm not sure that bishop g4 is necessarily a good move, because I have to watch this. I'll have to defend the b pawn with like queen c7. That's the best way to protect it. It's like a cross between the French and Aliakin and Caro Khan. On g4, the bishop is trapped outside. Trapped outside the pawn chain. That's a good thing for black. In general. The only opening Wernaki hates is the 4 knights. I think that's pretty boring stuff in most cases. I guess you could play even interesting stuff in the 4 knights, like the Belgrade Gambit, for example. I had a game once years ago in a modern. A4 is an interesting move. Sometimes bishop a3. I was talking about with move 11 a couple weeks ago. The winner were French with a4. Oftentimes this bishop can come to a3, try to challenge that guy. This is a pretty good move, a4, and it also, he might be able to play a5 or chip away if I play b6. It looks like a good waiting move for white, actually. I guess I can take on d4. I mean, at the end of the day, it's nice that he has double pawns, but I don't know how long I can maintain the tension here. Bishop e7, bishop a3. I was thinking maybe castle and let him take on c5. It's interesting, Blobix mentions queen a5, queen a4. Spoken like a French player. He can trade off his bad bishop at the expense of his pawn structure. That's like a typical French maneuver. Looks like one more game after this, guys. I'll play Luana. Hopefully, so Blubix really like this bishop coming back. Looks like a blunder. Bishop f3, queen f3. He could take with a pawn. If I take here, it's also viable. Alright, fine. We'll just take first. Ask questions later. Take with the queen. I'm taking on f3 and taking on d4. Winning a central pawn. The only other option for white is to take with the g pawn on f3. Or to interpose g4. Interpolate. Guys, tomorrow, no stream, Saturday, but Sunday we have our simul. Every week we do a simul on Sundays, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be 25 players as usual. Simul usually starts about 10 minutes after I start taking entries. 5:30 Eastern Time on Sunday. Everyone's welcome to join. We take the subscribers first. Guys, don't forget to check out my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube, my eBay. Now I can't win the pawn. Arsenal would like this position. He plays the French sometimes. White's still solid, even despite g4. Not that easy. I have a tactic. Yeah. Doesn't work. I almost have like bishop a3, rook a3, knight d4. Knight d4, queen c5. That doesn't work. f6 is like anti-positional and risky. The money goes to Sladgy, all the same. Coffee can still ban whoever he wants. Absolutely. We love banning subscribers the most. It's more satisfying to ban subscribers after they've foolishly donated $4.99 to my stream. Rook ac8. Much more satisfying. Knight b4 was tempting. Oh. Wow. Unexpected move. This looks really dubious for white. Even this isn't forced. He could play like pawn takes pawn. So just take and knight b4, and I'm winning a pawn. There's this knight g5 at the end of the day. I'm not super thrilled about that. Bishop d3, queen d3, knight b4, queen b1, queen c4, knight g5, knight c2. I like how Bob keeps track of how many timeouts he has. Maybe the easier way to win this would be to just take the pawn on c4, play knight takes e5, win a pawn. I gotta watch this h7, knight g5 type of ideas. I mean, I could play g6 if I have to. Here I have knight d3, interfere with his coordination. If queen b1, knight d3, he can't play rook c1. It interferes with the threat against h7. Unfortunate move, which I missed. Simply attacking other stuff. That sucks. Okay. So just roll with it. I cannot win a pawn anyway. That sucks. Wow. That officially sucks. $1,300, he's doing great. First game. Slightly worse positionally, but still. White survived without losing material to move 20. Just some slight weaknesses. Not that bad, actually. This might be something I can work on. What we're talking about, knight f4. I don't have that. Accidental materialism. Duel mates. Alright, last game, guys. Luana. Queen c1 trading queens, Blobby. Yeah, he's still surviving. It wasn't necessarily lost for white, even after queen a3. White is worse because it has a lot of weaknesses, but I'm not sure that white is lost. Yeah, that's a tough game. He did a good job to hang in there after so many weaknesses early on. Are you guys making fun of King Crusher again? Wow, you play the Afromea variation. Oh my god, I didn't think anybody played this. Oh, you're talking about Burt Root. Yeah, I don't know. Didn't seem very nice. I don't really have a judgment about him. There was something early on. I didn't really like him that much, but I can't really have an opinion yet. Doesn't matter to me. I can't remember. I'm not gonna comment. Okay, d6. Knight f3, knight d3, knight c4. Where's the best place to go? So this is like a really weird variation that I guess was worked out by modern computers for the most part. It's ironic that like Queen e7 was almost never played. This move exists in theory. I forget what it's called. It's actually closely related to Queen e7, but it seems like Queen e7 is an improved version of it. I think there's still a lot of opening theory yet to be discovered. Bishop g5. Such a weird move. This is such a bizarre move to play. All right. Queen e7 seems kind of panicky. I'm still not like winning a piece. Luan needs to slow down, and if you're gonna play games of this time control like 5+3, there's no reason you can't take the time with you to the grave. I mean, I call it the Egyptian time management system, where like the ancient Egyptians used to like bury their stuff with them inside their sarcophagus. It's like that with the time. You don't get any, you can't take the time with you onto the next game. So there's no reason to play that fast. You need to use your time. It's a resource. I think that black is playing too fast in a complicated position. Anyways, I think this wins a pawn, but I wish there was something better. Yeah, I mean, bishop d3 is obvious, you know, but it only wins a pawn. I was kind of hoping for more. Well, I think, Bob, you're at the point where you're kind of, now you're in the mid stage where you should start learning openings. I've been working with a lot of people like that, you know, who I feel like, yeah, in the first moment, it's not so important. But yeah, I mean, you're capable of playing well enough that I think you need to pay more attention to the openings. Maybe you don't need to play like really complicated sharp theory, but at least develop a repertoire. Well, we're winning a pawn, right? Like d5, bishop f6, gf6, bishop e4, pawn takes, rook takes, check. But then, you know, I wasn't sure I'm winning by force. White is clearly better. Do I have to pay you for lessons for specific recommendations? Look, guys, if you were subscribers to the stream, you're like kind of like my friends. I don't mind, you know, if you send me a message once in a while with just asking for a piece of advice about something, you know. That's cool. That's fine. Especially if you've been a subscriber to my stream for a long time, feel free to communicate and ask a question. I mean, obviously you can ask on the stream as well, but that I don't mind, you know. I definitely say that with the people that I do teach privately, you know. I try to be a resource for them. I'm not an all-knowing, you know, chess master, but a lot of times I can't answer people's questions about specific stuff. But if you said, hey, what's a good recommendation for my opening repertoire? Maybe it's not appropriate for me to answer this question on the stream, but I can answer it more specifically, you know, in a private message or something. All right, so he took forever, but played pretty much. No, and that's also bad time management. I mean, I don't mean to like harp on Luana, who's a really talented player and relatively new to the game. I think it's bad time management when you spend a long time on a forced move. Another thing, you have to be practical. So basically, d5 was the only move for black there. I think that's a bad. So they didn't use time earlier when they should have, and then they used like 2 minutes thinking about like the only move. So that's just, you gotta. It's gonna take time, but you're gonna have to improve the time management. Here I'm not sure. I mean, black could even play king d8. It's not that ridiculous. Queen e2, queen e1 is going to allow stuff. So look, 2 bishops against 2 knights, open G line. I still don't think this is so bad for black. Wow. Okay, so queen e2 paralyzing black. Queen e2 looks basically forced. Forcing black to not be able to castle queenside. At least temporarily. It looks like the best they have is like bishop takes f3, forcing me to probably take with the queen, and then they can castle with a pawn down position. Cheers for Chess Lover, not to be confused with Chess Love. Subscribe for 2 months. Bishop e6, I was just assuming there'll be a d5 at some point. You know, I think that'll probably be pretty strong. Last game for today, guys. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Good games to Blubix and the draw with Antonio. Chessicles. Too hot for chessicles. We've got Shark-Nados. Just collecting pawns. Better structure 2 pawns up. This should be money in the bank, but don't be too greedy. Is it necessary to take another pawn? You know what I mean? It's an extremely greedy move. Rook takes f7. Plus, he's tied down to that. If you think about it, he's down 2 pawns already. If I take on f7, do I open up a file for him to attack me? Philosophy of being 2 pawns up. 2 pawns up 101. Don't be greedy. A lot of people say greed is good. But I think this player has a lot of potential, and 1100 doesn't do them justice. They do make like one move blunders a lot. Never go for the 3rd pawn. You heard it from Blubix. It's always the 3rd pawn that does you in, not the 2nd one. Provoking new weaknesses. There are a lot of strong players here, even the self-deprecating ones, like you. Now this pawn, this is more than just grabbing a pawn. This is about an incursion on the 3rd rank. The 3rd rank. It's a 3rd pawn. Freudian slip. Sorry, guys. Incursion on the 3rd pawn. Try to be principled. This is going to be painful, but it will only hurt for a second. I almost like traded queen f5. There's no mate. All right, checks. We only have 1 check. One check on c1 doesn't amount to anything. And there are multiple mates. c6 is a mate, and if he tries to take on c3, he loses a queen. Looking pretty tough for black here. Queen g6 hangs on for a few moves. No, that's mate. That's mate, that's mate, that's mate. That's mate. That's mate. The whole guacamole. Thank you guys for joining me. We're going to be back on Sunday. Jim just donated a tier 1 sub to Luana. That's awesome. Thank you for that, Jim. Okay, guys. Another gift sub from the Jimster. No, seriously, guys, thank you.
Yes, 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 yes.
All right. The Panda. Panda's still in Budapest. We will be going back in the fall to Budapest. I don't know when yet. Presumably. Thank you, guys. See you Sunday for a 25-player simul. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. Nice Panda imitation there, Macro Panda. Thank you guys for supporting the stream. We'll be back on Sunday. You're welcome. Thanks again, Mr. Coffee. He's doing a spectacular job as our new moderator. Let's see if we can do a raid here. Joanna tries. Maybe we can raid her. Try to see who I know that's streaming. Raid now. Anyway, guys, see you on Sunday. Thanks, everybody. Playing a video game. Chess players. Chess player. It's a scary video game. All right. Later.